So the idea behind this build was just to be kind of a quick, easy way to use up some of the smaller gourds I had laying around that were too small for full-size banjos. But it ended up getting kind of out of hand and spanning over several months and being a huge pain. To start out, these are the three little gourds that I had. I ended up using these two on the left, and the idea was to make just regular miniature banjo and then a banjo uke. Started out by sawing this piece of mahogany in two, and I wanted to use both halves of the mahogany. This is the last video that I'll be doing this makeshift track saw thing in, because I have a table saw now, which is awesome. And this also didn't really work this time. It kind of went off the line and it got all bound up, and then I just cut it the rest of the way on the bandsaw, and it was pretty sloppy. Here, what am I doing here? This was a long time ago. I don't even remember what I'm doing here. Oh yeah, I'm cutting a very thin, flexible strip. See, you can see it's very flexible. And I'm doing that for a specific reason. And here I am doing it. This is a piece, I think, of lacewood. That first piece was bird's eye maple. Then I'm sanding these down, these little flexible strips. And now I'm trying to kind of trace out a nice wavy line in the wood. And then I'm just taking my fingerboard blank and just cutting it right down the middle on that wavy line, cutting it right in half. And now if I glue the little strip in there and kind of clamp it shut, it follows the curve that I cut in the fingerboard wood and creates this nice sort of wavy line design. But that's a thing I saw on a cutting board. I was in Canandaigua, New York at a consignment shop, and there was a bunch of cutting boards with that design, and I asked the person running the shop if they knew how the guy did it, and she told me, and this is what she explained, so I'm trying it. And I've seen it done. After I looked it up, I saw that it has been done a lot on like guitar necks and stuff, and it's been done on a lot of instruments, but I thought it was really cool when I saw it on the cutting boards. And I was originally going to have two lines intersecting each other, but I decided to just keep it simple. Then I'm sanding that down. And here they are. They came out really nice. A little sloppy, especially on the maple one. And for some odd reason, I wanted to put a fretboard radius on these because I was going to fret them. And I bought this block. It's a 14-inch radius. And I sanded in a radius. And then I measured out the frets. Using this little protractor, you can like draw a line down the center and then line it up so your lines are all straight and parallel with each other. Then I score it with the knife. Then I use this little saw. I got this saw specifically for fret work, but I use it for a lot of stuff. And you can see there's the radius in the fretboard. This is going to be a problem that I get back to later. There's the board with all the slots cut. I pretty much skipped over the whole shaping and sanding process in this video, but here's a little bit of that. So now here's how the whole ukulele fits together. Looking good, looking pretty good. I wanted to put some fret marker dots on the fingerboards, so I'm cutting this out of a piece of maple, trying really hard not to burn it. I did an alright job not burning it. And yeah, I just put these plugs in at the 12th fret here. They ended up being a little closer together than I wanted, but nothing I can do at that point about it. I fiberglassed the mini banjo, but not the ukulele, because the ukulele gourd was really thick. And now I'm cutting the slots out of the ukulele neck, putting some finish on. And this was my first time really doing frets in a long time, and I really messed it up. I could not get them level no matter what I did, so I'm taking them out. I'm using a little soldering gun to soften up the little bit of glue I put in there, prying them out, ruining my chisel. Don't worry, it's a crappy Harbor Freight chisel. And then I'm using that radius block again, cleaning out the frets, and I refret the whole thing. So it didn't work. I still couldn't get them level. So I decided to just scrap the whole radius fretboard thing, and I put this sandpaper on my plane and just tried to tried to flatten that neck back out again, and it worked pretty well. Then I'm cutting out this little F pattern, this little violin F pattern, and double stick taping that onto the side of the gourd. I sort of just really slowly drill this out, and then I file it to where I really want it. In this shot, I'm trying to make it look like I use a coping saw for this, but I end up just busting the whole thing apart, and I rarely use coping saws at all. Now this is the second set of frets I put on this little banjo, and I bought this $50 fret level file off StewMac because I was at my wit's end and just couldn't make it work any other way. I think I'm holding it backwards in that shot. Then I'm checking with that fret rocker to see if they're level, and then I'm using this fret crowning file here. And in this shot, I still didn't get them level. It took a lot more time. I spent so much time on these frets. It was a complete nightmare. And I'm just polishing these off with some fine grit, 1000 grit sandpaper and fine steel wool, which was pointless because I ended up filing them all down again. But before I get into all the fret trouble, it looked nice finishing it. I really love the way this mahogany pops. This is my first time using mahogany on an instrument, and I really like it. I really like the way it looks with both the lacewood and the maple that I used. Really happy with the overall design of these, even if I struggled a lot with the frets. This is me taking off the second set of frets on the ukulele because I decided to get rid of the fret radius on this one too. So that means I fretted this thing 3 separate times, and I fretted the little banjo 2 separate times. So I did 5 fret jobs on 2 banjos, 2 instruments, which I guess it's a learning experience. And then I finally made this little board that I can file gourds and necks down on, or flatten gourds and necks on. And I can't believe I didn't do this sooner, honestly, because it's great. And everything's just done with double stick tape. This is the first time I really discovered how amazing double stick tape is to use for so many different things. This is a really nice color, coffee stained head that I had. It used to be on Gourd Banjo 10, but I ended up putting a different head on that one because I didn't like the job I did the first time around. So I've just had this head laying around. It was the perfect size to use on the little banjo, and a great color too, so I skinned that gourd up. I didn't film the skinning of the ukulele, but it's basically the exact same thing as this, so. Got that pretty, it was kind of challenging actually. That head didn't want to stretch quite as much as they usually do, even though I'm not sure why. I think maybe it had just been through the ringer already, but it ended up getting very tight. I mean, it ended up working great, but I was just kind of struggling to get it to stretch the way I wanted it to. So here they both are. Ukulele, miniature banjo. I'm not sure what to call it. I've got the red light on here to reflect the evilness of this build and how rough the frets were to make to get level. I don't know how all you guys do it out there. I watch these videos and people are making it look easy, and it is really, at least for me, I'm very challenged when it comes to fret work. It came out pretty good, but there's a little buzzing. But yeah, here's how the ukulele sounds. chords. So yeah, that's the ukulele. Don't really know how to play it. I'll probably hang it on the wall or something. Or if someone wants to give me a little something for it, that would work out as well. Then here's the banjo. This one I'm a lot happier with than the ukulele, just because I don't know, I know how to play it, and I think this one came out really good. There's just some buzzing on I mean, it sounds pretty good right now. One big problem with this thing is, yeah, I haven't really talked about this peg head design yet, but yeah, it's a design I've like come across before. I've just seen kind of similar designs, but I ended up making it really small because I tried to like lay it out bigger and it just didn't look right. So I made it really small. I don't know if you can see, these two pegs in the middle kind of hit on each other, which is really a kind of a pain, and it's the only thing about this that I really don't like. This one I kind of somehow avoided that problem, partly because I sort of offset these a little bit with their depth. Alright, let's go somewhere nice now. Whew.